Right, hi guys, welcome back to this channel and welcome back to this challenge. So, without further ado, I'm going to start off where I left off. So the first question is 1125. Is it better to have kids when you're in your teens, 20s, 30s, 40s or older? Does that mean like give birth, like have them, or does that mean having kids that are like a certain age by the time you're in a certain time period? Because honestly, I think probably the late 20s is probably the best time to have kids. Late 20s, early 30s, because you have more of an understanding of what it's like to be an adult. You have probably settled down a little bit. You have had some years under your belt at work. You had some idea of like if you can even afford it, if you can look after kids. So I would definitely say late 20s, early 30s is probably the prime. I think teens are far too early. I think early 20s is far too early to know any better. So I think late 20s, early 30s is prime. I'm in my 30s now and I feel closer to my parents than I felt like I was when I was a child. So yeah, I think having a larger age gap as well. They're in their 60s and I'm in my 30s. So I think they were 32 when they had me. Is that right? No, surely not. Maybe they were 33 when they had me. My age next year is when my parents had their third child, which is crazy. And I'm in my early 30s and I'm nowhere near ready to have kids. Obviously, like, I am still single. I've always been single. I have never met anyone I want to have a kid with. Never been in a relationship, I guess, so I guess that kind of is a moot point. I don't even know if I can have kids or if I will have kids. What gets your adrenaline pumping? Formula 1, 100%. The races get my adrenaline pumping when it's a really good race. Good music as well, and like any sort of like sport music thing that makes me excited, I guess, gets me pumping. My working out as well, I guess, gets my adrenaline going a little bit, but that's pretty much it. Is hell all fire and brimstone, or is it personal for everyone like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? I have literally no idea what that means. I have never watched Bill and Ted, but I guess growing up you're taught hell is kind of like lava and flames. So I'm gonna say it's lava and flames and like gates and things. If you can hear noise, by the way, I've got my window open, just as FYI, because the weather today is glorious. I'm actually filming this on Friday and you guys are gonna probably see this on Sunday, so happy Easter, guys. I hope you guys are having a great Easter Sunday, Easter break as well. At least here, I know some countries celebrate Easter next weekend, but where I am, we celebrate it this weekend. Or does it not exist? Oh, okay, I kind of missed the secondary question here. I mean, who knows? Like, does heaven exist? Like, I feel like nothing exists after death. I think that's just it, and then nothing really happens after that. So I don't know if I actually believe in heaven or hell. There's never been like anything that's been like, oh yes, I'm definitely going to heaven, you know, I don't really know if I believe there's like an afterlife. Do you ever talk about yourself in the third person? Oh, all the time. Without a doubt, I always do it. Like, especially when I'm talking to myself, I do it. It's just a habit that I can't break. What's your favourite radio station? What kind of music do they play? So I don't really listen to the radio these days. I tend to listen to more Spotify or the podcast app on my phone. That's pretty much it. I don't really listen to radio, but I have one radio. I mean, I don't need to have more than one, do I? But I've got a radio that's sits in my bedroom, and every morning between 7:30 and 8:30 it automatically comes on and then turns itself off, and it's set to Radio 1. So I tend to listen to Greg James most mornings for that 1 hour when I'm waking up or just getting up, getting ready for the day. So I guess they play like popular music, you know, current music that I don't necessarily listen to, but it's good to kind of listen to kind of know what's happening. It's probably the only time I listen to what the news is happening as well. So yeah, all that stuff. What did you think of these movies? Election, never seen it. Gone with the Wind, have I seen it? I can't remember, maybe. So I'm not too sure. Fight Club, loved it. Spider-Man, loved it. The Virgin Suicides, never seen it. Resident Evil, never seen it. Signs, I don't think I've seen it. Muppets from Space, don't think I've seen it. Pearl Harbor, brilliant film. Halloween Resurrection, never seen it. The Dark Crystal, never seen it. Is everyone special? Special in their own little ways maybe, but to me, I mean, not really. Are your toes painted, manicured, sparkly, soft, wearing a toe ring, or do you have hobbit feet? My toes are natural at the moment. I tend to paint them probably like once a year, and that's usually when in the summer when I'm going out and about and I wear flip-flops. And I think one of my toenails has still got an inkling of green nail polish that I put on in the summer of last year, and then the others have all just worn off. So that's the answer to that. Do you believe there is any place still undiscovered in all the world? I mean, there's gotta be, like in the thickness of the forests, in wherever there's forests, or like down in the ocean. I think there's probably a lot of the ocean that's still undiscovered, that's too deep to go into. Whose picture would you like to paint a target on and throw darts at? I am going to say Simon Cowell. I don't know why I'm now sitting sideways onto this chair. This chair automatically like spins itself. He treats his artists like crap, so there we go. I've not liked him since he created One Direction and kind of like ruined Harry and Louis. So Simon Cowell. Is love all you need? No. You can get by without love. Have you ever caught a fish? No. But where were we? Was it in California? We went on like a trail. Was it California? Or was it Turkey? It was somewhere. We went on a trail, and part of that trail was going up to a stream and a river, and as part of that you had fresh fish. Fish isn't my favourite, so like freshly caught fish from that river or something like that. Anyway, we had that. So it was kind of like close enough, but not really, I guess. Are you adventurous? I wish I was adventurous, but I feel like my anxiety kind of stops that from happening. So I'm gonna say no, but maybe I'll change that later on this year. We shall see. We'll see how things go. Are you afraid of mediocrity? Not really, no. Would you rather die tomorrow or have all your friends die? So I don't really have that many friends, but I would always say that I would prefer to die. What are 3 things you don't understand? How people end up dating. How does that happen? Like, how have I just like managed to miss that? Just like the world and like people and like how this happens. Like, how do we have all these things compared to like animals around the world? How are people and we have these infrastructures and buildings and all these items and things that we've created versus the animals that have been here for thousands of years before us? How are we built differently? Like, it's so weird to think about. How? And then like, how can I be talking and thinking and like how am I moving? Like, how is my brain computing this? And like, how does it know when to move my arms, how to read, how to move my legs? at like beckons call. Like it just fascinates me, you know what I mean? It's just, I have these moments where I'm like, how is this real? And it happens a lot when I'm driving, when I'm like, how does my brain know? How are we driving these metal boxes around? You're passing all these strangers every single second. Thousands, millions of people. You don't know who they are. You don't know where they're going to or from. You don't know their family. You don't know their situation. You don't know how they live. You don't know if they're famous. You don't know if they're not famous. You don't know if they're a YouTuber. You don't know anything. Like, it fascinates me. That's what I don't understand. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. What is that? I would do anything. Oh, rest in peace, Meatloaf. He did die, didn't he? Depends on the person. I guess it depends on what your fear is. Like, I would do anything for love, but I won't do anything related to heights. So, there's that. Has your diary ever been rated? What does that even mean? No, I don't think so. Did you do more than kiss on the first date? Never been on a date, so I don't know. I mean, some people do, I'm sure, but I have never been in that situation. I've never been on a date, so I can't really count. I can't really say. Are you very liberal or conservative? This is very American. I don't really know, because I don't really follow politics to know the answers to these things. What do you like about your neighbours? That I don't talk to them, that they kind of just leave me alone. What I hate about them, though, is that they slam their doors 24/7. But honestly, I've never met my neighbours, so I don't have an opinion on them. Like, I've probably seen them a handful of times since I've moved into this flat 5 years ago, but all we do is say hi and that's it, so can't really relate at all to that at all. I read that by 2010, oh wow, they expect to market a gene therapy procedure that will increase the lifespans of adult human beings by double or triple. If this happened, would you have it done? So I don't think that's happened, but just in general, people are living longer these days. Just as a matter of fact, I don't really know why or how it's happening, but people are living much older than they used to back in the olden days. Like, I think it was kind of normal for people to be dying in their 60s and 70s. Now we're seeing people die in like their 90s, like more commonly. So I don't think that is anything related to this therapy thing though. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Did you clap?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy, you know it. If you're happy, you know it, clap your hands.
Was this year a good year for you? 2023, we're only in April, so honestly it's kind of pretty much the same as the last few years have been. The years have just like merged into one. I'm just kind of like on a plain level field at the moment, so it's not really going up or down, so I wouldn't say it's good, I wouldn't say it's bad. What are you looking forward to next year? I don't think I have anything in plans for next year, so I don't know. It's too early to tell. It's only April. I don't really plan that far in advance to next year, so there we go. Are you a Jim Henson fan? Isn't Jim Henson the guy who... Did he do Sesame Street or the Muppets? Is he that guy? I think so. I'm gonna say yes. What do you think of these diarist names? Okay, this is based obviously because this is on a live journal website. So Toxic Toast, Solitary Music, Gemini Wishstar, Juneberry. Don't like any of them. That's my facts. 2. Do you read the Diary Master's Diary? I have no idea what that is, so no. Have you ever made an enemy on OD? I don't know what OD is. Ever, or do you know anyone who's been deleted from OD? Again, I don't know what OD is. Were you ever in the first row of a concert? No, I've never been in the first row of a concert, but I've been in the first row of a play or a musical. Concerts, because I'm so short, usually concerts, the first row is the standing area, and I'm too short for that, so I don't ever book those seats. I usually book them on the sides. Did you ever meet a celebrity, and who? So I bumped into Robert Pattinson back in the day, back when he was in Harry Potter. He walked like right in front of me, and I kind of like literally bumped into him. But there was like a not like a Comic-Con. There was like a thing that used to happen in my shopping centre every year, where they would have famous people come where you could sign things for. And they had like one year, that year actually, they had Robert Pattinson, and they had, oh, what's his name? They had the blonde guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I met those two guys anyway. But Robert Pattinson, literally, him and his bodyguards walked right in front of me, and I bumped into him because I wasn't looking where I was going. And then I've also seen from afar Carol Vorderman at Goodwood a couple of years ago. I guess I've met the Quadrant guys, who are Lando Norris's brand. I met them at the F1 race last year. Hopefully this year I will meet some drivers. Do you have any autographs? I do, as I said. I just remembered, I do. I've met McFly. I met Harry Judd and Dougie Pointer from McFly. So I do have the autographs of those two. I remember Dougie signed my phone case back in the day. That's long gone. I remember it rubbed off so quickly. And I remember, so Quadrant, I've got their signatures all on a jumper I own of theirs that's branded from Quadrant. So yeah, can you visualize world peas? Is that just like blended peas? Peas in general are gross. Are there some situations where love just isn't enough to keep two people together? When does that happen? I mean, of course, I think that's why divorces happen, and that's why people break up, and it's just because sometimes it's not enough for people, really. Like, I think you are totally able to love someone, but also at that same point know that they are probably better off without you. I mean, I can't talk from experience because I've never been in a relationship, so I don't really know what that love feels like. Like, it's sad, but I want to, like, live that. I want to be able to say that I have lived the heartbreak. I want to say I lived that sort of situation, but at the moment, I don't know. I'm just making this up because I don't honestly have a clue. I'm just guessing from like stories I've read. Do you have no attention span? I have a little bit of attention. I have some. I would say I get easily distracted 100%, but I do have a little bit of an attention span. It kind of depends what it is. You know what I mean? There's some things where I'm like, I just switch off as soon as I start hearing the conversation, and there's some things I'm just like always on about. So it kind of just depends what the situation is. What do you think of these entry titles? Guess this is again for blogs. Me Back Home, Steak and Butter, The Smirsko Communist, The Controversial Athens. I have literally no idea what that means. So, have you ever been wrongly accused? Not that I can think of. When you wash your hair, do you blow dry it or let it dry naturally? I've not blow dried my hair or put straighteners in it for about 5 years, ever since I kind of moved here. I kind of leave my hair to air dry on its own. My hair is in like the worst states I've been in. It's getting really, really thin. My ponytail is pretty much non-existent these days, so I'm kind of just letting it do its thing. And that's that. With that being said, I'm gonna end it here because my time is up for this part. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next part, which will be the 28th part of this journey. Well, I'll see you guys in my next video. I won't see you guys when to post this next part, but there we go. Alright. Depends if you're watching the playlist or not, I guess.